There's something I've come to appreciate about circles. For centuries, people have gathered in circles to think together, to solve problems together, and perhaps most importantly, to better understand themselves through one another. There's no head of the circle, no back row, no performance, just people willing to think. When someone joins the executive leadership circle, I ask them to do one simple thing: to leave their title outside the circle. Not because their experience isn't important, it is, but because for the next little while, I'm far more interested in meeting the person behind the position. Over the past 21 years, emotional intelligence has taken me into conversations with CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, and senior executives across many different countries and organizations. I've come to realize that while leadership may look different from the outside, the human experience is remarkably familiar. Behind every title is a person trying to lead well, trying to navigate relationships, trying to make wise decisions, trying to remain true to themselves while carrying the expectations of others. Over the years, I've also come to see emotional intelligence differently. I don't see it as another leadership competency. I see it as a practical framework for understanding ourselves, understanding others, and navigating the conversations that shape our lives and our organizations. Because every significant leadership challenge eventually becomes a human challenge. And every human challenge is lived through relationships. I've noticed something else. The conversations that stay with us are rarely the loudest. They're usually the quiet ones, the ones that gently change the way we see ourselves, or another person, or the people we lead. People don't change because someone gives them better answers. They change because often for the very first time, they see themselves differently. Now that kind of understanding cannot be forced. It can't be hurried. It has to emerge. And I've learned to trust that process. I don't arrive with a fixed agenda for where every conversation should go. I arrive with thoughtful questions, genuine curiosity, and a deep respect for the people sitting in the circle. Again and again, I've watched understanding emerge in ways that none of us could have predicted. Fear begins to dissipate when truth becomes safe. When people no longer feel they have to protect an image, they become free to think, to wonder, to question, to listen, and perhaps for the first time in a long while, to simply be themselves. I've come to believe that this is where emotionally intelligent leadership begins, not with having all the answers, but with having the courage to understand ourselves more deeply so that we can better understand the people we lead. Now, the insights that emerge inside the circle rarely stay there. They find their ways into boardrooms, into teams, into families, into the conversations that shape culture, one interaction at a time. That's why the Executive Leadership Circle isn't simply a place to learn about emotional intelligence. It's a place to experience it, to think more clearly, to see more clearly, and to discover that some of the most important answers we're looking for don't arrive from outside of us. They emerge from within us and between us. If this speaks something to you, I'd like to invite you into the circle. Not because you need fixing, not because you need another leadership program, but because every leader deserves a place where they can put their title down for a while, where truth is safe, where understanding has room to emerge, and where they can return to the people they lead with greater clarity, greater wisdom, and a deeper understanding of themselves. If the time feels right, I'd be honored to welcome you into the circle.